In late January of 2025, Forbes reported that Phil Ruffin, who owns several classic Vegas properties, has announced that he is planning to sell the iconic Circus Circus Hotel and Casino and all 102 acres of property that it occupies in North Las Vegas. Circus Circus, which opened all the way back in 1968, has had a long and interesting history, including ties to the mafia, murders, claims of paranormal activity, and the largest heist in Vegas history. In addition to being the location of several fascinating true crime stories, this vintage Vegas resort has been known as being one of the most iconic casinos in American pop culture. Being featured as a filming location for numerous movies and TV shows throughout the decades, including being notoriously referenced by Hunter S. Thompson in his 1971 gonzo journalism novel, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Over the span of nearly 6 decades, this resort has expanded to become one of the largest in all of Vegas. With a hotel which houses over 3,700 rooms to a 123,000 square foot casino featuring actual circus acts, as well as an arcade and midway of games, to a 5-acre indoor amusement park, all themed to, as Hunter S. Thompson described it after visiting in the early 70s, all manner of strange county fair / Polish carnival madness. This resort has throughout its existence on the northern end of the Strip represented vintage Vegas tourism in all of its glory, all the way up to the modern day. But many argue that the current state of this resort is far separated from what it was like in the golden years up to just a decade or two ago. Despite being one of the few family-oriented vacation resorts left on the Strip, and also one of the few value resorts left in all of Vegas, Circus Circus receives a significant amount of criticism from the general public, as well as through the shared opinions of locals and vloggers due to the comparative quality of the resort to what the rest of the city currently has to offer, and the overall shabbiness of the hotel and resort itself. Despite its historical significance and the fact that the resort has largely maintained its original offerings and vintage aesthetics over the years, the future of this resort and its likelihood to remain in this state of classic Vegas preservation is certainly up in the air as of early 2025. What if I told you that it could actually be far worse than anything people deem worthy of criticism over at Circus Circus? What if there was another shockingly similar resort in Vegas that opened around the same time as Circus Circus and was closed and demolished 20 years ago back in 2006? And what if I told you that this hotel and casino had the same sort of reputation that Circus Circus currently has, but that this Vegas resort was easily 10 times worse and made Circus Circus look like the Bellagio by comparison? Well, there was such a property that existed on the Strip in Vegas, and that property was the Boardwalk Hotel and Casino.
Look at this. One gem after another on a strip of fun like no other. Las Vegas. Any month, any week, any day. One of the world's most glamorous, exciting places. And right in the middle of it all, the best deal of all, the Boardwalk Hotel and Casino. Everything people want from Las Vegas. Everything people expect from the famous Strip. Guests can see, hear, and feel the excitement of our casino. All the great games are here. Be prepared to cheer. But that's not the only reason to get excited. We've got hundreds more. Introducing our major room decor upgrade. New bedspreads, colorful window treatments, elegant upholstered furniture, and brand new carpeting give the Boardwalk Hotel and Casino a fresh new look. And a fresh new reason to consider us when good fortune calls and whispers Las Vegas in your ear. Take your clients from the top of their wish list to the middle of all the action. Blackjack, craps, slots, video games, leaded ride bonus, home of $3 minimums, and our popular Del Mar Race and Sportsbook, piled high with parlays, teasers, and bonus parlay cards. Oh yeah, that's right. The other thing people do in Las Vegas is eat. And we're ready for everybody you send our way. The Cafe Boardwalk in the heart of Las Vegas is our premier specialty restaurant, featuring a great menu of Italian entrees, as well as thick steaks and delicious seafood. Everybody knows that Las Vegas is a 24-hour town, so we present the only 24-hour buffet on the famous Strip. We dare you to walk away hungry any time of the day or night. And if you're looking for a quick snack, stop looking. Our Boardwalk Casino Deli is what you'd find in Coney Island, except this Coney Island is a Vegas landmark. And then, with a blink of an eye, it's nighttime. People come to Las Vegas to be entertained and let it all hang out. When you book your people here, they can do both. In our sensational new Lighthouse Lounge. Famous drinks, live bands playing every night, never a cover, always a good time. The music moves the dancers, and the dancers move the walls. If your clients are coming as a group, we have meeting and banquet rooms of all sizes, and we can supply all the help your clients need to make the event a success. And if it's only a meeting of two, well, we've got just the place to say, I do, I do, I do. The Boardwalk Hotel and Casino. From the rooms, to the games, to the food, to the entertainment, all very affordable. Who'd expect that in the heart of the Strip? But that's where we are, in the heart of the Strip. And we offer not only the heart and the spirit of the Strip, we offer it all at rates that will soothe the hearts of your clients. Send them to us. We'll send them back to you real happy.
Boardwalk Hotel and Casino opened on the Strip in 1966 as the Holiday Inn. It wasn't until the late 80s that this property was transformed into the infamous cheap knockoff of the much larger Circus Circus. This Holiday Inn property was actually just a hotel and conference center up until the former owner of the Pioneer Club, Norbert Jansen, purchased the hotel and began adding slot machines and a gift shop. By 1981, the hotel now had a full casino known as Slot Joint, and in 1989, the name and theme was finally changed to become the Boardwalk Hotel and Casino. This spot on the southern end of the Strip quickly became known by locals and tourists as being the most budget-oriented hotel and casino in Vegas. With $1 to $3 table minimums, 49-cent shrimp cocktail, and full breakfast for $1.39, this place was beyond cheap, and it showed with the quality of everything it had to offer. Throughout the 90s, Boardwalk continued to capitalize on its low-cost, low-budget strategy, especially after a franchising deal in 1994 with the Holiday Inn chain, who were the original owners of the resort. The hotel and casino were both expanded after a $9 million renovation, and this is when the giant Coney Island facade was built on the side of the casino building. The most likely reason that this was done was in an attempt to give the illusion of competing with the much larger value casino resort Circus Circus on the other end of the Strip, which had just undergone a massive expansion with the addition of its indoor theme park, Grand Slam Canyon.
Nothing to fear. Plenty to scream about. Pick up your Grand Slam Canyon theme park discount coupons at any Videotime store. Save up to $16 on our party for 4-pack. Grand Slam Canyon. Circus Circus.
But the rides at Boardwalk, including a replica of the 1906 parachute drop tower at Coney Island and a wooden coaster, were simply non-functional ornamental pieces placed above the casino and overlooking the Strip, meant to draw people in or even perhaps to intentionally fake them out without actually providing anything special other than cheap food and low-limit slot machines. The early to mid-90s was a huge development era for Las Vegas tourism. The strategy at the time for most of the big casinos was to expand their entertainment offerings and attract the average American with vacation-worthy activities that the whole family could enjoy. This was done in an attempt to trap people at the resorts who weren't otherwise inclined to gamble. From Siegfried and Roy at the Mirage to the impressive but massive failure of MGM's Grand Adventures theme park, Vegas in the 90s was comparable to Orlando as a place with well over a week's worth of attractions to do and shows to see. This entire mode of operation that became the Vegas as we remember it today was fully encapsulated in the final installment of National Lampoon's Vacation series from 1997, Vegas Vacation. This movie was essentially one giant commercial for quote-unquote Vacation Vegas, which is the actual name of the movie, but the main reason for bringing this movie up in the video is that several scenes in the movie are actually lampooning, so to speak, Boardwalk Hotel and Casino, from its reputation for being cheap and tacky to poking fun at its infamously terrible 24-hour surf buffet.
Best $1.49 buffet in town, Clark.
Which we'll get to later in the video. However, if the intention was to make Vegas appealing to the average American, then the movie may have gone too far in its depiction of the city as one giant tacky tourist trap, along with its somewhat biting, albeit somewhat milquetoast social criticism of gambling. Also, the marketing overreach of the whole Bring Your Family to Vegas campaign that was pushed through all the media in the 90s was largely a failure, as evidenced by the many failed projects that went along with it and the current state of Vegas as a vacation destination versus being closer to a town strictly for gambling, food, and nightlife that it was in its original era and is pretty much now. Believe it or not, although the 90s was the peak of Vegas tourism for stuff outside of gambling and all of that, tourism for the sake of tourism is still thriving, considering things like Area 15 and Meow Wolf have become successful enough for Universal to take notice, who are opening Universal Horror Unleashed, a year-round HHN-style attraction there later this year. But having attractions as a side option for things to do in Vegas actually began with Circus Circus, when they opened with their free circus show back in 1968.
Welcome to a circus of excitement where thrill rides, midway games, live circus acts, and great food are a Las Vegas tradition. Run away and join the circus for $19.50 now through June. Call 1-800-444-2472.
Whatever it is you like to do, you'll find it right here at the circus, where there's something just for you.
Circus Circus was originally owned by Jay Sarno and Stanley Mallon in the late 60s and early 70s. When it first opened, it was only a casino without a hotel, but it was one of the first themed casinos ever, featuring a building in the shape of a big top tent. There was also a carousel out front with a spinning sign, and the top floor of the casino contained an assortment of carnival games, which is still one of the casino's signature features today. In the early years, in addition to the main show, circus acts would be performed directly on the casino floor, including monkeys and even elephants walking around the gaming areas interacting with guests. Initially after opening, Circus Circus was successful, attracting over 26,000 guests within the first 8 hours on opening day. However, not long after that, the casino struggled as it was mocked and criticized for its tacky approach to providing a gambling experience that wasn't without distractions from the many random things meant to entertain and enhance the visit.
Silence, so we wouldn't disturb Zambora from her transcendental state.
I guess if you were having a bad night and losing money, the last thing you'd want to see are trapeze artists above your head and monkeys running up to you holding out their hats for spare chips. Regardless, Circus Circus maintained its gimmick of being a casino inside a circus rather than just a circus inside a casino, and its approach to targeting a niche demographic that none of the other places in Vegas had yet tapped into allowed the casino to persevere with its mission of entertaining versus being strictly a place for gambling all these decades later. In 1971, they added a 15-story hotel, and this is around the time things start to get shady with the operations at Circus Circus. In order for them to pay off all the debts that they accrued for the first few years, they were offered a loan deal which involved doing business with Chicago mob enforcer Anthony the Ant Spilotro. This allowed them to build the expansion with the hotel, but gave the Chicago outfit a share in the business in the form of a gift shop at the hotel. This led to an investigation of Sarno and Mallon for connections with organized crime, while they were also being investigated for violating tax code. Shortly after this, in 1974, Sarno and Mallon found a new operator to lease the business to, William Bennett, who formed Circus Circus Enterprises and skyrocketed the resort's success through focusing on its original target demographic, middle-class tourists. Less than a decade later, Circus Circus was one of the most successful casinos in the state for this very reason, and in 1983, Bennett purchased the casino through a lease option agreement and ran the resort very successfully up until 1994. Within that time frame, the 29-story hotel tower was built in 1986, and in 1993, the Grand Slam Canyon theme park was opened, which is now known as Adventure Dome and is still one of only a handful of large indoor parks in North America.
While driving along Interstate 15, the reflective pink glass of Grand Slam Canyon almost makes motorists forget what exit they're taking. A gigantic dome behind Circus Circus grabs attention and stretches the imagination. Scott Andrus gives us a glimpse of what's going on under the glass.
One glance at Grand Slam Canyon and you know Circus Circus is behind the project. Actually, the bright pink dome is behind Circus Circus in the parking lot. With each day, Grand Slam Canyon gets even pinker.
It's all yours, Doug. Cable up.
It'll glow in the day because of the sunlight. It'll glow at night because of the interior lighting. We'll give it a glow through the glass to the outside at night. It'll look like just a glowing pink bubble in the middle of Las Vegas.
From the outside, passers-by see the pink exterior going on the blue Tinker Toy-like frame. While the reflective glass is striking, the panels serve a purpose by cutting down on ultraviolet light and keeping Grand Slam Canyon comfortable for guests. Inside, after all, is where the excitement is. Directly behind me are the roller coaster tracks that take riders to the top of Grand Slam Canyon. I'm only about halfway there. You can see where the tracks eventually wind up. They drop over the canyon walls and take riders through two thrill-seeking loops. Grand Slam Canyon features 4 major attractions, including a flume ride over a waterfall. The cliffs of the canyon are taking shape, giving the park a southwestern theme.
It even feels like the real thing.
The folks who operate Circus Circus are obviously pleased at how their park is coming together.
I'm sure that the ones who designed it knew where they were going with it, but every time I see it, I'm amazed about how real it's going to look, how exciting the rides appear to be.
Grand Slam is perhaps the most appropriate name. Scott Andrus, News 3.
Grand Slam Canyon opens August 2nd.
The park opened with several major attractions, including a steel coaster with 2 loops and a double corkscrew built by the now defunct Aerodynamics. A giant canyon made out of fake rockwork was built in the center of the park, in which the layout of the coaster traversed. And of the other major rides was Rim Runner, a shoot-the-chutes flume ride featuring animatronic dinosaurs, and was also built by Aero and closed in 2013. Adventure Dome has since added many newer flat rides and an SNS El Loco called El Loco, which was added in 2014, replacing Rim Runner.
What I learned on my summer vacation: marine biology, computer science, applied physics, sociology, and group psychology. Hopefully this knowledge will prepare me for a successful career as a stuntman. Class dismissed. To the dome, yeah!
The newly remodeled Circus Circus Adventure Dome features 5 acres of action, thrill rides, and fun for kids of all ages. Open 365 days a year, it is America's largest indoor theme park.
Adventure Dome is likely what has kept Circus Circus successful from the 90s until now, since it offers that something extra that nowhere else in Vegas has offered for a long time. In addition, is still being one of the most affordable places to stay on the Strip and having lots of affordable attraction offerings. The Circus Show is in fact still in operation since the day they opened in 1968, and it's still free to stop in and see. And even though people criticize Circus Circus for being outdated and dingy, the resort still pulls upwards of $90 million in earnings each year. This timeless formula of providing tourist attractions to a town whose primary demographic is middle-class American tourists is a testament to the viability of attractions as part of any vacation-oriented destination, whether it's a metropolized city like Orlando and Vegas, or small-town middle America such as Wisconsin Dells, Branson, or Pigeon Forge. It's proof that this industry matters and plays a huge role in our tourism economy.
It's double discount days at Grand Slam Canyon Theme Park at Circus Circus.
As a Nevadan, I got twice the discount.
Just show your Nevada ID and get $4 off.
I'm glad I'm from Las Vegas. I saved twice as much at Grand Slam Canyon.
More to do, more to see, more fun than you've ever thought possible.
Not only double the fun, but double the savings.
This month, locals save big at Grand Slam Canyon Theme Park at Circus Circus Las Vegas.
Circus Circus also featured one of the earliest examples of the Vegas buffet with its all-you-can-eat ice cream and dessert buffet called the Diet Buster. This led to an eventual explosion of buffet culture where resorts competed with each other for who had the best, and I guess most expensive, buffet in town. This is something that defines modern Vegas even more today than ever before. But speaking of Vegas buffets, and remembering the fact that they didn't used to cost $100 per person, there was one infamous buffet that became the laughingstock of Vegas in the 90s. And that was the 24-hour surf buffet at the Boardwalk Hotel and Casino. This buffet was well known by locals as being of horrendous quality. In Vegas Vacation, they really tore into it, including Cousin Eddie himself.
This bread pudding is extra runny tonight.
As if the reputation for the food being bad wasn't already enough, they played an ad all over local Vegas TV starring Boxer Butterbean, acting like a meathead with no taste for cuisine, who was settling for the surf buffet over quote-unquote snooty food.
Salmon tartare on a vanilla oil topped with papaya sesame seaweeds.
What? That's it? The bean don't eat no snooty food. I'm going to the surf buffet for some real food. Oh, it's a surf buffet. Now that's more like it.
Can't get enough, not at the Surf Buffet, where it's 24 hours of incredible food.
Hey, you'll never go hungry at the surf buffet.
These sentiments about bad Vegas buffets exist today, especially over the one at Circus Circus, which has had numerous food vloggers bash it for its lack of quality food. But again, nothing at Circus Circus could even compare to how much worse it could be, as proven to the buffet world by Boardwalk's Surf Buffet in the 90s.
Can I have some of the yellow? And don't get cheap on me.
Welcome back to the Boardwalk Casino, Mr. Jones. Well, we've been all shook up without you. Come on, we got a lot of new things to show you. Our casino gaming area is bigger and better than ever. Get ready to shake, rattle, and roll, Mr. Jones. We have some of the lowest minimums on the Strip. Feeling hungry? Stop by the Surf Buffet. There's plenty of food fit for a king, and it's open 24 hours. For great Las Vegas-style entertainment, see me, Trent Carlini, in the Dream King. Well, here's your room, Mr. Jones, and thank you for staying at the Boardwalk Casino. Thank you very much.
Quite a few shows and movies were filmed on site at Circus Circus. The 1971 James Bond movie Diamonds Are Forever has a scene that was filmed in the casino. The Season 2 premiere episode of Starsky and Hutch, The Las Vegas Strangler, was partially filmed there in 1976, including shots of the iconic sign and exterior. sign was also used as a backdrop to a scene in the 1995 movie Leaving Las Vegas. The 1999 movie Baby Geniuses, which is inexplicably directed by the same guy who made A Christmas Story and Black Christmas, used Adventure Dome as the setting for the movie's fictional Joy World, a park run by an evil baby products company called Baby Co. Surprisingly, the Bazooka Circus scenes in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas were not actually filmed at Circus Circus, but at none other than the Boardwalk Hotel and Casino. Circus Circus didn't want their name associated with the film or have participation in interior filming, so the real Circus Circus, which was actually where Hunter S. Thompson visited for real in the early 70s, had to be recreated with sets. The Circus Circus sign, however, was used, but had an overlay placed on it and the Bazooka Circus sign was projected onto it. The Bazooka Circus scenes in the movie were perfectly executed by Terry Gilliam's genius design style. So in the end, it was better that the casino had to be recreated because what we got was a highly stylistic representation of what Circus Circus was actually like in its early era, especially if you happen to be on heavy acid and ether dipped with an American flag. Some really heavy stuff really did go down at Circus Circus throughout its history, though. One of those being the successful $3.1 million heist that occurred in October of 1993. Heather Tallchief and her boyfriend Roberto Solis hijacked an armored vehicle holding $3 million in cash from ATMs at the casino. They shipped the money to Miami in boxes, drove there, and hopped onto a chartered plane in disguise with the money. Then they purposely zigzagged around the country to throw off the police before successfully fleeing to St. Martin. They both evaded capture until 2005 when Heather Tallchief turned herself in. She stated that she did this because she wished to give her son a chance at gaining citizenship and living a normal life. Facing 10 felony charges, Tallchief pleaded guilty to bank embezzlement, credit union embezzlement, and possession of a fraudulently obtained passport. She received a sentence of 5 years in prison and was ordered to pay back $2.9 million of the money she stole. Roberto Solis still remains at large to this day, although he is believed to be dead. If he were still alive today, however, he would be 80 years old and had evaded capture for 32 years. More recently, in 2018, 2 Vietnamese tour guides were stabbed in their hotel rooms during a robbery. In October 2024, Julius Trotter was found guilty of the murders of the couple and was sentenced to life in prison, narrowly escaping Nevada's death penalty. But unfortunately, the real tragic stories don't end there. In 2012, a 22-year-old woman named Emily McCann squeezed her body through the window of her hotel room, falling 20 stories after suffering paranoid delusions from taking drugs at the Electric Daisy Carnival, a Vegas music festival. The hotel at Circus Circus is said to be haunted, and these rumors started before 2018. The most infamous ghost story involves room 123. The legend states that a mother and son were killed in this room and that the furniture moves around and cries for help can be heard from the neighboring rooms. However, this story has no basis in fact. As much as it might seem that the Circus Circus is cursed and haunted due to all the deaths and crimes that occurred there, the reason is purely statistical when you look at the numbers. Circus Circus has had more than 1 million visitors each year, meaning the sheer number of people who stay there and the number of years this place has been in business is what contributes to the likelihood of something bad happening at some point. And with numbers like that, Circus Circus has proved that the classic Vegas and classic attractions still have a very high market potential on the Strip. The vast majority of these classic Vegas resorts that were on the North End are completely gone, such as the Stardust or the Sahara, which no longer resembles classic Vegas in the slightest. If you take a look at the new modern resorts that are near Circus Circus, such as Fontainebleau or Resorts World, they have comparable annual earnings numbers and are probably nowhere close to earning past their initial development costs. Look, I'm not here to defend Circus Circus against anything bad people might be saying about it, especially now considering the north end of the Strip is not the most desirable spot in Vegas these days. But I do want to point out what's important about the future of Circus Circus, or anything we have from the past that's been mostly preserved up to this point in time. Things like vintage Vegas are culturally important things from mid-century America that we are slowly losing in these places in favor of redevelopment and replacement. But but we should care about keeping this stuff around, because there will never be anything else like it ever built again. Even if you dislike the idea of gambling being part of our society, or could never see yourself taking a trip to Vegas, or even if you could never bring yourself to go to a rundown, tacky relic of a place such as Circus Circus, you should still agree that these old things have a place in our world for historical preservation's sake, if nothing else. So is there a place for Circus Circus in 2025 Vegas?
It'd be nice to see some renovations on the inside and outside and just make it a more cleanly place overall.
Well, I certainly hope they upgrade things and put a bunch of money into it because it's a fun place, but it's very dated.
With attractions such as Universal Horror Unleashed coming in just a few months from now, along with the already successful Meow Wolf attraction at Area 15, and numerous other older but still successful attractions such as the Strat and the Neon Boneyard Museum, I think it's safe to say that keeping this resort and the Adventure Dome open and continuing its very high and consistent annual earnings potential should be in the interest of whoever the next owner of this property will be. However, this property will have to be very valuable to the next owner for one reason or another, considering the current hefty price tag of a mere $5 billion. However, the Boardwalk Hotel and Casino was a consistent earner property as well, but met its fate with a closure and subsequent implosion in 2006 after being acquired by MGM Grand and eventually replaced by the 67-acre city center.
And we just heard one more siren, which means we are just seconds away from the implosion of the Boardwalk Hotel. Within them, like kind of shakes through.
Yeah, all through the camera, I was jumping.
Quite an exciting moment. Let's go ahead and take you back up to Sky 3 now. As you can see, the dust just sort of settling over. It's quite eerie actually.
The only remaining piece of this classic Vegas hotel can be found at the American Sign Museum in Cincinnati, Ohio, where they have the original sign from the Holiday Inn that was on the Vegas Strip in the 60s. Columnist John L. Smith of the Las Vegas Review-Journal stated that Boardwalk Hotel and Casino was a testament to the local belief that even a terribly tacky joint, one with an Atlantic City theme for crying out loud, can grind out a cash flow if it happens to be located in the heart of the action on the Strip. Alright, I admit, Circus Circus may not exactly be in the heart of the Strip the way Boardwalk was, being on the north end and all, but Circus Circus is the heart and soul of Vegas. It's the tacky, ugly, shady underbelly of the American nightmare that Raoul Duke went on about in Fear and Loathing. It's the vintage neon signs and the flashy appeal of economic hopes and dreams. It's a testament to the perseverance of a tried and true American cultural zeitgeist, the ability to make money, or to win it through gambling, or to earn it through whatever means possible. And yeah, those means of doing it should be preserved for the benefit of anyone with hopes and dreams. Alright, whatever. Gambling is bad, I know. But yeah, tourism is good. And that's the moral of the story, my friends. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more tourism history and travel vlogs around the U.S.
With Boardwalk Slots, you can drive away your weddings in a Jeep Grand Cherokee or a BMW motorcycle for 25 cents. All at the Boardwalk. the fun place to be and the rewarding place